Hi everyone, I'm going to discuss my theory on 17's AL1 story. I've had this theory for a while, but I've been too scared to say it. So I'm just making this video to get it over with. I'm going to try and make sense of everything because I only really want to focus on, the title tracks in AL1, but my theory also connects to songs outside of that, like their other tracks on the albums. But I'm just gonna keep it simple for the beginning, and then later on into the video I'll get more detailed and all that stuff. So yeah, let's begin. So we all know that Jihoon produces and writes the music for 17. Not all the time, but like he's mainly the person who does it. And in an interview he said he has 80% of control over that, whether it's like the production, lyrics, the arrangement of the tracks on the albums, and the concepts behind everything. So I think for the most part Jihoon is behind all of this. Like, not to say that the other members don't contribute, like they obviously do, but it just seems like Jihoon has everything planned out, like in a certain direction. So my theory is that Jihoon is putting messages in his songs and trying to get it across to a special someone. In this case, let's just say it's his soulmate. Or if you want to talk about it in like a fairy tale context, let's just say Jihoon's a prince and he's looking for his princess. Just how in reverse the princess is looking for her Prince Charming. The only reason why I think this, it's not just because of how much power he has, but also the fact that his favorite anime, Full Moon Usagashite, is pretty much based on the same concept. If you don't know the anime, it's basically about a girl who has a dream to become a singer because she made a promise to her childhood friend before they went their separate ways. They promised to follow their dreams. And so she tries to become a singer, not only because of the promise, but also to get her music out there in hopes that he would listen and they would meet again. So it's very similar. Since it is his favorite, like maybe he got inspiration from that concept, so he's following that. I don't know, but that's just what I think. Obviously, like all of the title tracks are based on romance, but Jihoon himself hasn't dated, or like that's what he says. So I think that maybe he uses his soulmate as a muse or inspiration to help him get his feelings out into these songs. Because if you ask like Jihoon anything about his music, he always says that it's important for the lyrics to be sincere. Like he is very truthful about what he writes because he believes that if it's, fake, then no one else is going to relate to it. So everything like he writes in his music is very genuine. So that's why I'm thinking, okay, maybe he is putting a real purpose to these songs to reach someone out there. So how this all connects as a story, I'm thinking that chapter 0 would be all the title tracks, Adore You to Boom Boom, And chapter 0.5 is trauma, obviously. And then chapter 1 is don't wanna cry. Chapter 2 is change up. So basically in all of the songs, there's recurring themes like dreams, inner thoughts, doubts, insecurities, a path to his soulmate. And like the context behind the lyrics, they seem very one-sided. Like I don't think there's a mutual love. There's no mutual love, so that's why I think he's writing it for someone or putting his soulmate in that context, because it seems very like obsessive in a way, the way they portray the lyrics, how they're always chasing after the idea of her, wondering if she reciprocates those feelings as well, because it's always said that this girl is putting on a front, but I don't think that's the case. So let me just go in depth about the title tracks. So I think of each title track as like a phase. So Adore You would be the awareness phase, like he's aware that there is someone out there. He doesn't know what will happen in this situation, but he wants to get to know this person. And then the second phase will be Manse, basically chasing and dreaming after this idea of the soulmate. And pretty much like it's his dream girl, if you want to say it literally. Third phase would be Pretty You, like he's coming to terms with his feelings, and it seems like he's getting a more defined theory of who his soulmate is. So he gathers the words to tell her, you know, that she's pretty, obviously. But it's still one-sided, so he's very unsure of the outcome. That's why there's like the does she love me not? He doesn't know. And the next phase would be Aju Nice. This would be taking action. Because it is a date concept, I think, since Jihoon hasn't dated, it's possible that he put his soulmate in this scenario so he could write it easier, perhaps. But he's also wondering if the soulmate thinks the same way that he does, like if she's experiencing the same things, because it all seems like it's all in his head, you know? And then the final phase would be Boom Boom, when he's actually preparing to meet this girl, like going to the road, going on the path towards her. And that's like chapter 0, because a new chapter begins. That's the first chapter, and that's Don't Wanna Cry. I should be talking about trauma first, but I'm gonna get into that after because it is more recent. But for Don't Wanna Cry, in the previous one, Boom Boom, he was preparing to actually meet this girl, but turns out he didn't find her. So that's where Don't Wanna Cry comes in, and he's constantly searching for this girl. And the teasers with Don't Wanna Cry also show a lot of symbolism with like soulmates as well, like mirrors. There's like a lot of mirrors. Like there's mirrors everywhere, like in the teasers, especially in the recent music videos. It's like a strong symbolism of like the other half, like two reflections that become one, all one. Yeah. But yeah, there's no like breakup concept at all. It just seems that way because it's very sad, but there was no relationship to begin with. It's just the idea of the soulmate, and he's constantly searching for her, but this poor boy, he doesn't have any luck. he can't find her. But then chapter 2 is Change Up, and luckily that's when they finally do meet. And this is where I want to start getting even more in depth with the lyrics, because Jihoon mentions a flare, and that's like, he said that was like the core message of the song, is like shooting up a flare that they shot when they were trainees. And then obviously that was confusing to me at first, but then I realized, like, what's the purpose of a flare? It's a signal. So he's sending signs through his songs for his soulmate. So Change Up is basically like a confidence boost. Like, since they had met, now he's more confident in showing more sides to him. That's why, I don't know, it just seems like he was very confident in that music video. He looked really good, okay? It just seems like the happy ending, if that makes sense. And then for Trauma, which is before Don't Wanna Cry, I've seen theories where it's about like their idol life and all that negative stuff. Like, I'm not dismissing it, but when I read the lyrics, it still seemed like they were talking about a girl. Like, they're stuck in this fantasy, like in their own mind, that they're traumatized by their thoughts, like they don't want to be alone, because they doubt themselves so much. I don't think it's anything about the negativity of idol life, because they say in the song that they want to sing, like like the need to sing. And then it just takes me back to Full Moon Wasagashite, where the reason why the girl was singing was for, you know, her loved one, because she made a promise. Like, it all comes back to that. Like, with everything that's been coming out, I feel like it becomes more evident that there is a signal, and he wants to give this message to the right person. He just hasn't found that person yet. But that's just my theory. It's just theory. A game theory. Alright. I guess I'll just do it. Yikes. Okay. What am I doing? Hi everybody. What kind of intro? I don't know what to say. Should I say my name? No, I don't want to say my name. I think... there I go again. Jihoon. I'll start over.